Hi, I'm Nick Paulson. You're watching News 24 Live. I'm joined in studio by our rugby panel, chief writer Rob Howing and our columnist Tank Lanning to discuss the weekend's Currie Cup results and a couple of rugby talking points. Gentlemen, good morning.
Hello, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Rob, Garen has asked me to remind you about his prediction for the Sharks-Lions results, that they would rout them like they did.
I'm sure he has. He loves to rub it in when he gets the chance. He said that the score might blow out in that particular match. I said that I didn't think it would. I thought it would be closer than expected. I've got to say that I don't think anybody could have anticipated, Tanky, that the ferocity of that scrummaging assault by the Lions, which I think just knocked the stuffing out of the Sharks. It must have been so demoralising for all of their players to just see that kind of that retreating action, and it kind of only emphasised the importance of the scrum. And I'm sure Mr. Lanning will be very happy to drag out that point a bit later. But yeah, I've got to say I got the result right, but I didn't predict 30 points. I've got to say that was I think a turn up for the books to a lot of people.
Tank, obviously not the same Shark side that we saw in Super Rugby. Somewhat diluted, a lot of youngsters. I mean, I guess it wasn't that unexpected, that result.
Yeah, I think they've had a topsy-turvy season, a bit like the Bulls, but theirs has come the other way around. And I thought against an emerging Province side, they didn't look particularly good at Newlands. So the kind of the writing was on the wall. I thought they'd struggle against the Lions scrum, but like Rob says, I didn't think it would be that. They were used as a plough to just take up Ellis Park. It was just destruction. And I suppose the talking point that comes of that is, how long can Hanneke avoid picking those Lions props, or at least talking to the oak who's coaching the Lions scrum, because even in Super Rugby, they're probably the best Super Rugby scrum, and that's that's saying something. So like Dreyer, Redlinghuis, those oaks are just power. And we've always had an issue at tight head. Yanni's sort of been a stalwart, but there's always been a question mark. Marcel van der Merwe didn't start for the Bulls on Saturday. Now you got these two powerhouse tight heads. It just cannot be long before they get looked at. And then I thought the other outstanding player was Jaco Kriel, and I think he's had a good season. He's also going to be knocking on the door. But the Lions were just incredible. I think if everyone looks at the difference here, the Bulls try to play a power game, but with the wrong 10 and without a pack that demolished Province, whereas the Lions have a pack that demolished the Sharks. Boshoff's a proper 10 who commands like a general, but there's more to them than that. With Mapai and Skosan and them out wide. I think they're going to give Province some trouble in the final.
Before we talk about the Province result, Rob, and obviously the final, the Lions have just come a hell of a long way, considering that 2 years ago they were relegated from Super Rugby. But I guess that's, consistency in selection has really galvanised that set of players, and I mean it's a remarkable turnaround. I mean first final against Province in 28 years?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it shows you what buy-in can do. The players clearly all buy into Johan Ackermann. You can see by just looking at him in the box what a passionate guy he is. Those wide eyes, he loves every minute of his job, and it kind of that passion just sort of oozes through the veins of his players as well. And the thing about the Lions, I think Tank will agree with me on this, is that they are a bunch of unsung players, and whenever you see them get an injury, you start wincing. But then they blow me down. They bring some bloke from left field who suddenly just settles in, fits like a glove, and they carry on. I mean, an example, for instance, is someone like Howard Mnisi, who hasn't had much starting activity for them this season, but at a sort of difficult, tough end of the season, in he comes to that number 12 slot and really asserts himself, and it doesn't take the team back a step at all. In fact, it only took them a little bit forward. The way he played, the way he sort of made himself, just a presence on the field, and that almost also rubbed salt into the Sharks' wounds, because I think they were hoping their own sort of big bruiser in the number 12 slot, Andre Esterhuizen, the young, the former Babybok sort of wonderkind, if you like, who is almost like a bit of a next Frans Steyn in terms of his physique for them in the number 12 position. He was a little bit rather taken out of the game a bit, wasn't he? Because they just couldn't get any go forward, so that their physical number 12 wasn't able to get any traction either, which only again re-emphasised the importance of the scrums. But just coming back to the Lions, that sort of geest that they've got is a big reason why the final we may well find that it's going to be a very 50-50 thing.